This is rock and roll.
Thanks for tuning in to Reaction Extraction.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Reaction Extraction. Fun episode today. We literally just did the Beatles' I'm the Walrus, and now we are getting into the Doors. Love Me Two Times. It's pretty hard trying to somewhat compare and contrast the two bands because they are contemporaries. And I'm the Walrus and Love Me Two Times. You know, I'm trying to pick two songs that I think may be relatable. Maybe that we can get into. Like, I'm a poetry guy. I'm a writer. Getting into the lyrics of the Beatles and the Doors is just something. How can you not, right? Both John Lennon and Jim Morrison did poetry books. Jim considered himself a poet. Of course, John Lennon, a great artist. Paul McCartney, a great artist. This is my opportunity to get your vibe. This is the late 60s. And just a rare opportunity to see what a young person thinks about these legendary bands. The Doors, they were very, very abstract in their art. And both loved Elvis, okay? Both, Jim was a crooner. I'm going to say this, the Doors were a better live band. The Beatles stopped in 66. I don't think the Beatles are really known more for their amazing live shows. I think, studio production. But the Doors, edgy, Jim's performances, 67, 68. This was on their second album, Strange Days. Love Me Two Times. Can't wait to get your vibe. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go. More bluesy, I think.
Love me two times, baby. Love me twice today. Love me two times, girl. I'm gone away. Love me two times, girl. One for tomorrow, one just for today. Love me two times, I'm gone away. Love me one time, do not speak. Love me one time, yeah, my knees got weak. Love me two times, girl. Love me all through the week. Love me two times, I'm gone away. Love me two times, I'm gone away. Oh yeah!
Still working, man.
Love me one time, could not speak. Love me one time, baby. Yeah, my knees got weak. Love me two times, girl. Love me all through the week. Love me two times, I'm gone away. Love me two times, babe. Love me twice today. Love me two times, babe. 'Cause I'm gone away. Love me two times, girl. One for tomorrow, one just for today. Love me two times, I'm gone away. Love me two times, I'm gone away. Love me two times.
Two times. First of all, let me ask you, what do you think about Jim Morrison's voice? As a young person,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think about it?
It's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah,
Does it sound like a croon? Does it sound like
Not
it's
that
soulful?
but sort of. I definitely hear the Elvis
Mm.
influence in that song specifically.
Okay. How about the Doors vibe? The use of the organ really stands out.
Yeah, I mean they have a unique sound themselves.
Did it kind of have a bluesy,
Yeah.
abstract riff thing? and
Yeah.
Stuff?
Yeah, it's just like the swing kind of pattern,
Oh, right.
you know.
Is
Yeah.
that fun to play? Kind of jazzy-ish, right?
Mhm.
All
Yeah.
over. John Densmore, thank you. I'm gonna try this. Okay. We've heard the Beatles, some. Specifically, On the Walrus recently. The Doors, Hello, I Love You. Now, Love Me Two Times. What do you think about the two bands? Because they're literally producing this music at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think
Just general thoughts.
the Doors are more expressive, vocally and instrumentally. The Beatles are probably more experimental.
Okay.
Although the Doors do that some too, it's just I think
Yeah.
the Beatles are just any song they do, they're just like, let's just do something new. John Lennon, yeah, I mean he's not the most expressive singer. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Understood.
But also I think
Lennon.
like the Doors are probably less digestible, especially in this time period. People don't. I feel
I
like
keep hearing that. They're less digestible. What does that mean?
it's hard to like listen to at first. Like it's so different, so new. They are a bit harder and darker.
Yeah.
Specifically when you're comparing to the Beatles, I think it's just the Beatles are such an easier listen. What people were used to back then in the '60s and
Yeah.
early '70s.
Because the Doors do some, like this I consider one of their kind of pop songs.
But, you know, the Doors fans are very die hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the fan base is there. It's just like how big is the general audience? And I think that's where the Beatles kind of overtakes them.
Yeah, I understand because the Doors' career was so short. And the Doors did tour Europe in '68 and had a great response. That's why I'm just trying to take a snapshot and see. Do you think maybe it's more the organ-based?
I think it's the
Stuff?
drums, it's the belting of the vocals. It's just a lot of factors. Like it's the drums as well.
You know?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't straight up rock. John Densmore is the same way. He was a Coltrane jazz freak. Okay, and joined a rock and roll band.
I mean, this is closer to '70s rock. You know what I mean? Classic rock.
Yeah.
It's almost hard. It's almost not good to compare them to the Beatles because they're in totally separate lanes. You know what I mean? And
Well, that's good too.
I feel like you're doing the Doors a disservice in that aspect because it's just it's so different. You know what I mean? I don't know. The Beatles are just their own sound. The UK sound has always been softer, you know, and American has always been like what you just heard.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Understood.
almost hard to compare the two. You know what I mean?
You know, what am I trying to say? Important to balance stuff off you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just to see, because I never know.
Yeah,
So I get that. That's
it's like Prince versus Journey. Like
that is
you know,
far apart.
It's like,
but I understand.
but the same time period. You know what I mean? Right.
All right, Love Me Two Times, The Doors. Thanks.
All right. Well, thanks for watching this episode. Go watch out for the Beatles.
I Am the Walrus.
I'm the Walrus. We did one on that. And that's one of the songs we're directly comparing here. So
Hey, I hope we get a good response. Who knows?
yeah. So yeah, maybe some hot takes here.
Be nice.
But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We'll see you next time on the show. Bye.